We have another massive match announced for Full Gear. There is a huge 8-man tag team match, and we will also hear from MJF. Hey guys, how you all doing? The Wrestling Guy back here today, and welcome to the debut episode of Dynamite Debrief. So I thought today we'd show AEW a little bit of love. For those of you who have watched our previous videos on the channel, you'd know that on a weekly basis, the chairman of the board presents you with his Raw reaction based on the WWE Monday Night Raw show. And the Wrestling Guy will present you with his SmackDown breakdown based on the SmackDown Live show. So I thought today, why not do a Dynamite Debrief? So on a weekly basis now, you can expect to see Dynamite Debrief alongside Raw Reaction and SmackDown Breakdown. So it will follow exactly the same format as those shows. We'll break down everything that happened in Dynamite this week, and we'll go through and see what this all means leading up to the up-and-coming Full Gear pay-per-view. So if you guys do go on to enjoy, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content coming up on the channel. Thank you very much for the support you guys have shown on the channel in the past couple of weeks. You guys are amazing. Without further ado, let's check out what's happened on Dynamite this week. And what a jam-packed episode of Dynamite it was this week. Some really, really good stuff going on. Obviously, we are a couple of weeks away now from the Full Gear pay-per-view, which will be coming your way on the 19th of November. So a couple of weeks to go, and then that will be coming our way. Really, really looking forward to that. It should be a really, really good show. Some absolutely fantastic matches being announced for that one as well, so excited to see what happens there. So some really big things set to happen in this week's episode of SmackDown of Dynamite. So let's break down everything that's happened. So we kick things off with a huge 8-man tag match between FTR and the Acclaimed, and the Guns and Swerve in Our Glory. So 4 of the top tag teams in AEW at the minute all collided, all in rivalries with each other. We obviously know the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory are in a bit of a rivalry at the moment. Obviously after the attack from Swerve Strickland on Billy Gunn a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite. We also know the Guns and FTR are in a bit of a rivalry at the moment as well. So let's stick them in an 8-man tag and see what they can do. And they did an absolutely fantastic job in this match. All 4 tag teams showed exactly what they were made of. FTR, arguably one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling at the moment, and I find it very difficult to argue with that. They've obviously got the Ring of Honor, the AAA and the IWGP tag team titles. The only thing that they're missing from their arsenal at the minute is the AEW World Tag Team Championships, which they are making it very clear that they want to hunt down. Speaking of AEW World Tag Team titles, their partners for this match were the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. And obviously their opponents were Swerve in Our Glory, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. We know that they're going to get a shot at the AEW World Tag Team titles against the Acclaimed at Full Gear. So that's going to be one hell of a match. I'm really, really looking forward to that one. And yeah, this match was really, really good. So to start with, we did have Max Caster's usual pre-match rap. Obviously taking shots at Swerve Strickland, Tom Brady, Herschel Walker and Kyrie Irving as well as a couple of others in there. We would see Billy Gunn jump Swerve Strickland before the match. Obviously this is all playing on the attack that Swerve Strickland did on Billy Gunn a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite to his hands. During the commercial break of this match, we would see Will Morrissey of the Firm help the heels, the Guns and Swerve in Our Glory, gain control of the match by beating down Dax Harwood. Will Morrissey is, I'm a big fan of him. He is, for those of you who don't know, he was Big Cass in WWE, of Enzo and Cass. He is in the Firm at the minute with the Guns, and they are doing a really, really good job at the moment. I'm really, really enjoying the stuff the Firm are doing, and I'm really hoping that we kind of see a bit more from them in the coming weeks and months, because I think they're really, really good. I'm excited to see what they can do. The Guns playing the heel team really, really well, taunting FTR. They even hit the big rig on Anthony Bowens as well, so that was really impressive. Caster showing what he can do in the ring. I'm a big fan of Max Caster. I think Max Caster is hugely underrated. considering what he can do in the ring. He would wipe out his partners and his opponents with a dive from the top rope to the floor. And this would all end up with FTR and the Acclaimed defeating the Guns and Swerve in Our Glory. This is really, really good. I'm excited to see what this all means. This is all building up to the Full Gear pay-per-view. And it's really good. FTR and the Acclaimed, what a team to have put together. 4 absolutely fantastic superstars. The Guns and Swerve in Our Glory are really, really good as well. So this was just kind of a bit of a match made in heaven, to be honest. So we'll see what happens at Full Gear. This should be really, really good. We would then see an MJF promo. I love an MJF promo. As soon as I heard MJF was going to be cutting a promo, I was hugely excited. MJF at the minute is one of the best in AEW, I'd say. He is... I don't know what it is about him. He's got the character right. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time on the mic. I think MJF is absolutely fantastic. He knows what he's doing in the ring. He's got his shot at Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at Full Gear, so that's going to be one hell of a match. And he would come down to cut a promo. He would be on the Barstool Sports Pardon My Take podcast, and he was taking shots at Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, and the All Out Media Scrum, which obviously took place between the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, CM Punk, and Ace Steel as well, which obviously is a big controversial thing in AEW at the moment. So very surprised that they take shots at that. He would talk about his match with Jon Moxley at Full Gear and how he's going to beat the AEW World Champion. He would come up with the line that I really, really liked. He says, "I'm not waiting for the spotlight anymore, I'm grabbing it." This is good. I really hope that MJF wins the AEW World title at Full Gear. As much as I like Jon Moxley, and I do like Jon Moxley, I'm a big, big fan of the Blackpool Combat Club. I think this is MJF's time. He has worked his way up. He's one of those guys that has worked his way up from the very beginning of AEW when it first came in sort of 3 or 4 years ago. He's worked his way up, took a bit of time off, came back, and he has just absolutely hit the ground running. I think it's his time. MJF, new AEW World Champion, but we'll see. Our next match of the evening would be a Full Gear World Title Eliminator match between Eddie Kingston and All Ego Ethan Page. Hey, Eddie Kingston still works here? I actually completely forgot Eddie Kingston was still in AEW. We haven't seen him for a little while. We did see him a couple of weeks ago backstage with Death Triangle. But yeah, great to see Eddie Kingston back here. And Ortiz still works here as well. Ortiz was down at ringside. All of the older guys coming back in, so that's what I'd like to see. I really want to just give a big shout out to commentator Taz on this one. I really like Taz on commentary. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He talks about Eddie Kingston as he describes him as a brawler, and but he also has really big technical skill as well. And Excalibur would also say, we'll talk about Ethan Page, his ability to throw fists as well. These guys are both really, really good, hugely underrated, both of these guys, Eddie Kingston and All Ego Ethan Page. I think All Ego Ethan Page plays his character really, really well. He knows how to play the heel really well. I was a big fan of Men of the Year when he was in it with Scorpio Sky. They were really, really good as well. Hathaway would jump on the apron and provide the distraction that forced referee Paul Turner to miss Page tapping out to the stretched plum submission move. This would result in Ethan Page getting a 1-2-3 and defeating Eddie Kingston to advance in this tournament. Yeah, the match was okay. It did what it needed to do. Eddie Kingston, in my opinion, is a main event guy, and Ethan Page has everything that you need in his arsenal to be a main event guy as well. So. Yeah, this was a bit of a shame to see this one kind of be so kind of basic and done so quickly. But Ethan Page getting the victory, so we'll see what that means going forward, and we'll see what they've got planned for Eddie Kingston going forward as well. So yeah, we'll see on there. Coming up next, we had Wardlow versus Araya Davari. We know Wardlow is the current TNT champion. He is in the tag team at the minute with the Ring of Honor television champion Samoa Joe, calling themselves War Joe now as well. So that's an interesting name on there. And Wardlow is now calling himself War Daddy. Now I don't know if that's a little dig at WWE there. Obviously, we know Roman Reigns is doing the acknowledge me daddy thing. So I don't know if that's a little dig there. This was a very, very quick match. Wardlow didn't waste any time going after Araya Davari, hit the devastating powerbomb symphony to get the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you're not going to expect a lot more from this one. Araya Davari is not going to put up much of a fight against Wardlow. After the match, though, Wardlow would actually call out Powerhouse Hobbs and vowed to win all of the titles in the company. No, I really, really like this. This is what Wardlow is the AEW version of Brock Lesnar, in my opinion. At least that's what he should be. He should be dominating. He should be destroying everyone. He should be going after the titles. He should be going after the AEW World title. He should be just destroying everyone on a weekly basis. And then we would see a shock. We would see the Ring of Honor TV champion Samoa Joe actually put Wardlow in a coquina clutch, which is obviously setting up for maybe a winner-take-all match. The Ring of Honor World Television title and the TNT title, maybe in a winner-take-all match. We need to see the TNT title being used a bit more. It's starting to turn into like the old IC title where we never saw it ever, and people actually forgot it existed. We need to see the TNT title back on TV a little bit more. So we'll have to see what happens on there. So yeah, some really, really good stuff happened on this one. And up next, we'd have my favourite moment of the night: Saraya and Britt Baker face to face. Two of my favourite female superstars of all time. Paige is arguably up there as one of my top favourite female superstars. Saraya, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You guys, if you've watched the channel long enough, you'd know that I have a huge soft spot for Britt Baker. She is current female superstar. She is at number one for me at the moment. She even goes above the likes of Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler and people like that. I just love Britt Baker that much. Saraya as well. This is just a match made in heaven for the wrestling guy. This is absolutely fantastic. Face to face in the ring. Finally, this was meant to happen a couple of weeks ago with Renee Paquette backstage. This is happening with Tony Schiavone this time in the ring. So an emotional Saraya would announce that she has been cleared by the doctors finally, and she would challenge Britt Baker to a match at Full Gear. Wow, this was absolutely fantastic. This was a absolutely excellent promo segment. One thing I have got to give AEW credit for is they are getting their promos sharp at the moment. Their promos are absolutely fantastic. And like I said, Saraya would challenge Britt Baker to a match at Full Gear. Oh my, this is going to be the OC and Judgment Day all over again for me. I don't know how to call this one. I don't know who's going to come out on top on this one. This is going to be a really, really difficult one for me. Britt Baker as well is getting better and better each time I see her on TV. She is fantastic in the ring. And she was even better on the microphone. She would say to Saraya, "We don't take walk-ins, so make an appointment." Obviously playing on her dentist role there as well. The crowd were absolutely lapping this up. They were loving it. I cannot wait to see this match. This is going to be absolutely insane. Our next match swiftly following this on was Trent Beretta versus Jay Lethal. Yeah, not a lot to say about this one. Beretta would deliver an avalanche half and half to turn the match against Lethal. Lethal dominated a lot of the early part of this match. Obviously, we were going to see Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt get involved. But then we would also see Danhausen get involved. Not really a lot to kind of say with that one. Yeah, it's not really anything to I'm not a fan of Danhausen. This match did what it needed to do. It killed a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. coming towards the end now, we would have the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley come down to cut a promo. Jon Moxley would tell the story of his first meeting with William Regal, the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club. He would talk about his rise up to the top. And then he would start attacking MJF. Who exactly is MJF? Was Jon Moxley's words. He said, I've seen the devil, I've met the devil, I've looked into his eyes. Dude, you are not that. Just remember one thing, everything you've done to this point has been easy, Jon Moxley said. All again, building up that suspense, building up that hype for Full Gear. It's going to be really, really good. And yeah, I'm really excited to see this match. It should be really, really good. Jon Moxley, I'm not a fan of Jon Moxley on the mic. I'm not going to lie, I don't think he is anything special. But he is still really, really good, and I'm looking forward to this match at Full Gear. Coming up next, it would be Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter. Another one of my absolute favourites, Jamie Hayter. She is absolutely fantastic. A typical example of someone who's built her way up from nothing, built her way up, and she's finally got to a spot. Putting her with Britt Baker and Rebel was an absolutely fantastic move, and she's got a shot at Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Title at Full Gear. Wow. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. This is great. Full Gear is just heating up to be absolutely fantastic at the minute. Britt Baker would appear at ringside for this match and would do her usual antics. She would trip up Sky Blue, and she'd got herself, and she would obviously get herself involved in the matchup. The crowd were massively behind Jamie Hayter for this match, and this was just really nice to see. Jamie Hayter deserves that support, she deserves that push, and I'm really think that she's going to be a breakout star, and I really hope she does be a breakout star because she is just that good. A great code red by Blue earned the underdog babyface a 2 count, but Jamie Hayter would inevitably pick up the victory. This is exactly what she needed. She needs that push, she needs that elevation going up to her match at Full Gear. After the match, we'd see Lance Archer attack Ricky Starks backstage, and we obviously know they've got their Full Gear World Title elimination match. A bit random, not really sure what's happening with Ricky Starks and Lance Archer, but yeah, not too bad. Good to see Lance Archer back. I'm really, really big fan of his. And then we would have the main event, a 2 out of 3 falls match between Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara. This was the match of the night for me. An A match, definitely a grade A match for me on this one. Guevara would sacrifice the first fall, losing by disqualification. He would go after the previously injured left eye of Bryan Danielson. The Spanish God would then even things up in the second fall by rocking Danielson with a knee to the head. There'd be a couple of spots in the matchup. Bryan Danielson would miss a diving headbutt, and Sammy Guevara would apply Bryan Danielson's label lock, using his own opponent's finisher against him. I always like it when they do that. This is AEW, so we're going to see a little bit of blood. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, started bleeding, and then he would start doing his barrage of kicks. Some of the best kicks in wrestling at the minute are Bryan Danielson's. And then Guevara would start responding with the chops. This was hard hitting, this was good. Sammy Guevara's down there, so we've always got to expect to see Ty Mello. She would interrupt referee Bruce Remsburg's count and was booted from ringside. The Boston fans answered a shooting star press to the floor with the "You still suck" chants to Sammy Guevara, which I thought was good. You've got to love wrestling fans. They know exactly how to treat heels and exactly how to treat faces. They were obviously behind Bryan Danielson in this one. I'm a big fan of both. Bryan Danielson in the Blackpool Combat Club is great, and Sammy Guevara is really, really good in the Jericho Appreciation Society. So Daniel Bryan would go for the bazooka knee, only for Guevara to catch him with the walls of Jericho. However, this would result in Bryan Danielson hitting the running knee. 1, 2, 3. Bryan Danielson 2 falls to 1, beats Sammy Guevara. Wow, this was one hell of a match. Blackpool Combat Club, I really hope that they go for the AEW Trios titles. I want to see a match between Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara again, because this was absolutely fantastic. I really hope they don't wait too long because this was really, really good on here. Wow. What an episode of Dynamite this was. A jam-packed episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And please do join me again next week for another episode of Dynamite Debrief. I'll see you in the next one.